This is the most overwhelming battle I have ever witnessed. Even a primordial vampire capable of annihilating worlds lasted only 2.5 minutes against the man who gave it his all. Just moments ago, Jack instantly eliminated the vampire leader. Believing the threat was over, he rushed off to assess other battlefields. But the moment he left, his sisters Claire and Mary arrived. As they tried to piece together what had happened, a crimson blur shot past. In the next instant, Claire's heart was pierced straight through. It happened too fast to process. By the time Mary realized what was happening, it was already too late to intervene. She finally saw the assassin clearly. It was the very master she served 1,000 years ago, the Blood Queen. But facing her former ruler, Mary felt no joy, only a chill that reached her bones. The Queen's current state reminded her of the devastating catastrophe that unfolded a millennium ago. At that moment, Beta arrived with the Shadow Garden. He swiftly rescued Claire, who was barely breathing, and launched an immediate assault. Each of his strikes seemed lethal, but experience had taught him that such attacks were meaningless against the Blood Queen. Sure enough, she regenerated effortlessly, her power growing even stronger. Beta realized instantly this foe was beyond his ability to handle, yet he also knew he had to stand his ground. Jack had not returned, clearly occupied with a greater threat. If Beta retreated even a step, Jack's sister would die here. The Shadow Garden joined the fight together, but they were utterly outmatched. The Blood Queen didn't even defend. Her body alone nullified all their attacks. Left with no choice, Beta stepped forward himself as one of the 7 shadows. Only his power could truly harm her. For a moment, he seemed to gain the upper hand, but Mary, who had once served the Queen, knew better. No amount of resistance would change the outcome. Just as tension filled the air, the tyrant barged onto the scene. He had no idea what was going on, complaining that they'd started without him before joining the fight in his usual violent manner. But this time was different. His attacks had no effect whatsoever. The Blood Queen tossed him aside like garbage. Only then did he grasp the true terror of their enemy. Meanwhile, the Blood Queen's power continued to swell. She was gradually awakening, reclaiming the full might she wielded 1,000 years ago. To make matters worse, members of the Shadow Garden began showing signs of demonic possession. They thought Jack had cured this condition, but now it seemed the Blood Queen could manipulate the blood of the possessed. Claire was affected most severely, on the verge of transforming into a monster at any moment. Beta's heart sank. At this critical moment, Claire entered a dream within her mind. A mysterious woman told her that 2 bloodlines were warring inside her, the power of the demon possessed and the blood of the primordial vampire. Either one alone would be enough to turn a normal person into a monster. But Claire was different. She possessed the unique constitution to withstand both. Before she could fully understand, the woman said time was up and pointed to the pattern now visible on Claire's arm, the key to controlling this power. With those words, the dream shattered. In the real world, Claire's body began to change, and the presence now awakening within her was the Calamity Witch Aurora, whom Jack had once encountered during the trial tournament. She had revived by borrowing Claire's body. As for why she altered her appearance, it was like shifting into a more familiar form, one that better suited the flow of her power. After briefly explaining to Beta, Aurora turned her gaze toward the Blood Queen. Faced with blood manipulating assaults, she simply raised her hand, as though time itself had frozen. After all, in the domain of blood, she was the original creator. With a snap of her fingers, all blood flow reverse direction, slicing the Blood Queen clean in two.